very nearly 8:35. Good morning to you, watching and listening to Breakfast with Stephen and Dawn.
Time to go through the papers now. I know you can't wait, can you? And joining us this morning is author Nikki Hodgson, alongside legendary... Why can't Nikki be legendary as well?
I haven't heard it yet. Stephen said that to me a while ago. We can't call you a legend yet.
Legend,
remember that.
You will be that.
Near legend and proper legend, Pete Price. Good morning to you both.
Isn't it a weird word, though, legend? It's one that's used too much now. I think it's a special word.
No, not in your case.
You're the real deal, though.
I'm not that vain. Yes, I am.
No, you are. Well, you are very, very well known. Especially, I mean, in the Northwest, everyone knows Pete Price.
Yeah. Well, Peter Kay talks about me in his concert.
Does he?
Yeah, he does a 5-minute routine. His concert at the O2 as well. I thought it was just Liverpool. He used to listen to my late night phone-in and ring in with false names and everything. And he talks about me, and he said, you know, one of the greatest calls he ever did was a boy of 16 came on and said, Peter, I'm gay and I'm really, really upset. And, you know, I don't know how to tell my mother. And I apparently said, you have. Next caller.
You rotten devil. Let's look at the Express, Pete.
Oh, I love this.
Have we lost Christian values?
Yes. Is this still a Christian country? Our practicing Hindu Prime Minister confined his well wishes for Easter to and finally. And it goes on. It's a really interesting, because everyone will be going, is this a Christian country anymore? Christianity has made this country what it is. The Church of England, for all its faults, is never going to get locked into a religious arms race with rival faiths or strive for total social domination. No. It's a hell of a read, and it's a great time to write it, because are we still a Christian country?
But it's interesting though, because a lot of churches and a lot of vicars now have interfaith groups. So they're not an arms race, but they try and work together with different faiths, and that's a.
In some areas, a lot of people will be listening and not agree with you there, and say some areas are taking over with different religions and forcing their religions on this Christian country. Ooh, it's a minefield. It really is.
It is a minefield, but I don't have an issue with the PM. I didn't have to be honest. I didn't think he was practicing. But if he is, I think the fact he's said something about Easter, but kept it small, is fine. If it's not his faith, then that's.
On a lighter note, I've got to tell you, with Good Friday yesterday, I am not a Christian. I've lost my faith, and I've written about it in my column this week. I've lost my faith, but I didn't eat meat yesterday out of respect for my mum. I had fish. And so many people did it. The woman in the restaurant said to me, everybody wants fish today.
Yeah.
It's a psychological thing. And it's, my mum's not with me, it's a respect. See, Mum, I had fish, because she'd have belted me.
Aye.
Oh.
Quite right, too. Clip round the ear.
Yep. Actually, we had fish last night as well, thinking about it. Yeah. It's a psychological thing. Yeah. But you know what? I think...
I had pizza, but then I don't eat fish.
And that's probably why you had pizza. Yeah.
I hope they had no bits of meat on it.
I don't have a problem with this, with what Rishi Sunak has said, because I think the point of surely all religion preaches tolerance and love and understanding. So I think it's a good thing, and I think no matter what religion you are this morning, or no religion at all,
there will be people yelling at the screen saying, well, the Muslim faith doesn't preach tolerance. Actually, it does.
Yeah.
It's just the fact it's the extremists who've twisted that. You know, we careful with that.
I've not long been back from Israel, and everybody I met there wanted to force their faith into me, and they had their own God, and there was many gods there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's move on to what some would say is a new religion. Nikki, TikTok.
This is actually really depressing, but let's deal with it, because it's very serious. So it's to do with the ads for weapons that teenagers are viewing on TikTok at the minute, specifically for machetes.
Ads for weapons?
Ads for weapons that are from British shops, online stores, and they are advertising these knives to under 18s, selling them for as little as £30. And TikTok, as ever, says it can't police the content in time, or claim to police the content, but isn't doing, and then after the fact takes the content off. What I don't understand about these very sophisticated social media giants is why are the algorithms not clever enough to detect the shape of a machete and just get rid of the video without
Because it's illegal. It's illegal to sell. You can't just sell weapons like that in the UK.
Well, you can't just sell them, but there's another
Even
piece.
online.
There's another story underneath this talking about the online sales of knives in the UK. It's really behind the rise in murders. Knife murders, and it begs the question, why do we sell machetes to people anyway? Because I've always wondered, what's the use for one? What's the legitimate use for one that's not violent?
I guess if you're working in some industries, like the gardening industry or something like that,
It's few and far between, isn't it? The examples in which
That's in my garden.
Not in this country, yeah.
To me, it just seems like you should have to justify the use of the weapon before you buy it, and wouldn't that solve the problem?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think that's a fair point.
It is, because with kitchen knives, I mean, we all use knives in our kitchens.
Yeah.
You can't ban the sale of knives full stop, can you?
No, but these...
But it's a sliding scale of how much damage you create with certain knives, isn't it? And this is kind of just saying that the legislation we have in Britain is very old, in England and Wales, sorry, it's very old, and we need to really update this because people are losing their lives.
Yeah, I was in the catering industry before I went in show business, and I used to carry a set of knives around, which were my knives. The idea of ever sticking a knife in somebody, I would never understand in a trillion years. I carry them around because it was my job.
Yeah.
It's appalling that kids carry knives these days, and they'll tell you it's for protection. Sorry.
No.
Where's the parents? Where's the parents?
Yeah, you're right, Pete. Pete, let's have a look at the Mail. Looking at pensioners, 400,000 facing tax for the first time.
This was the story you mentioned before in the first half. So hundreds of thousands of pensioners will be hit by the income tax bills for the first time ever after retirement, because the pensions are going up 10.1% from Monday. And it's an estimated 400,000 people will be affected by this. For those who had topped up their additional state pension to boost their retirement, they're going to have the problems and be taxed themselves. And it's horrendous. So they're thinking they're getting a rise, and so many people are going to lose that rise because they're going to have to pay tax. I pay tax because I slightly work and I've got something else and whatever, and I think I get 3 and 6 from my pension in old money.
Yeah, I struggle to. I mean, I know there are reasons, right? You can't just scrap tax on pensions because we can't afford to. But there is something about when you've saved for a pension, whether it's a state pension or a private pension, you've saved with it, and then you get taxed on it.
It's disgraceful.
Yeah.
Because you save, they're telling us to save money to live in old age, because let's face it, there's a crisis for the youngsters of today. There is going to be no pension pot out there.
No, there isn't.
It's a frightening situation. Nikki, shall we move on to, again, there's a religious link to this one, to the Express. The Archbishop of Canterbury reveals he's on antidepressant medication.
I think this is really touching, actually, this story. Because
What's he on, does he say?
He doesn't say which specific kind of antidepressant, but he makes the point, Justin Welby, that actually, he says, the antidepressants work very well for me. They restore me to ER status from something much worse. So it's quite self-deprecating, and he just sort of makes the point that he just can't manage without them. I think it's interesting because you often think if someone's of faith, somebody in this position, they've got everything sorted, haven't they? They don't need anything more than God. And he's just being very kind of honest and saying, well, everybody can struggle. It doesn't matter how.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. I mean, also,
how faithful they are.
There's a lot of people. I mean, I take an antidepressant, but it's not because I'm depressed or stressed. It's because I've got a lack of serotonin.
Yeah.
Which gives you a low mood. I had it since I was a teenager, and it's. So it's it's not that my life is awful.
No, of
clearly
course
not.
But I take one for anxiety, the same thing.
So it's
very angry.
I just need to lift my serotonin levels.
Yeah.
And it may well be the same for him. And I just think so many people take them, and yet there's still a taboo around.
Well, and that's what he's doing. He's trying to break the stigma. So I mean, all the more to him. I think it's really good that he's come out and said this.
Talking about it is so important. There's an awful lot of people who are antidepressants, and more people are being prescribed them for all sorts of reasons. There's nothing wrong with having a mental health issue.
No, we all have mental health, whether it's good or bad.
Yes, exactly.
Don't look very nervously at Pete.
I just always remember 1,000 years ago when I told my doctor I was gay, he prescribed me Valium to stop me being gay. I'd just leave it at that one.
Didn't work, did it?
The Valium, I put them down the toilet and definitely didn't work.
No.
I've got to do this story.
Go on then.
Got to do this story. This is an interactive GB News. Interactive. Noddy Holder's wife, Susan, has rung me up and said, you've got to do this story.
Right. Morning, Susan.
Right.
Morning,
She
Susan.
ready? The riot police were called to the Manchester Palace in Manchester. I was at the Liverpool Empire when I saw the bodyguard and the bodyguard last night, and they were out singing the act. I mean, it is the audience, because they were drunk, hen parties. Now, I'll tell you now, in theatres, they have policies now. If you've got plastic glasses, you know it's going to be an interactive show, as in hen parties, stag parties, and not a proper theatre audience. If you get glasses, you know you've got a fighting chance to see a proper show. It really annoys me. I was there, the woman next to me singing, I've come to see her on stage, not you, you stupid. And I really told her. But there was a mini riot there in Manchester, because they were all getting up singing, they were legless, and they had to stop the show towards the end. It's all wrong. Theatre is all wrong. Theatre is a beautiful experience and expensive these days.
And expensive. You want to go and hear the performances, don't you?
Yeah, not this. I can sing better than her anyway. God, I'm dying to swear. Sorry.
Don't swear.
Oh,
Do
wouldn't
not.
it's Easter? Couldn't swear. My mother would slap me.
She would. I wonder what Nod makes of that then.
Well, at least he can
Excuse me,
sing.
no, don't talk to me about that. Nod. And I was working with them years and years ago in the first act, Susie Quattro, and they said, get them sat down. So we got them sat down. Noddy comes on and goes, everyone up. Thanks, Nod.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to the theatre this weekend and you want to sing song, don't. Okay.
Well, you know what they say at the Tina Turner one?
What?
Please sing at the end.
Is that what they say?
They say, please do not sing now, sing at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, you should see me with Les Mis. I can march at the same time as them. All right.
Let's have a look. Now, this one I love, Nikki. If you are feeling a bit down, have a pie.
A bit good sense science, that's what I call it. So basically saying that pies make you happier. And it's the combination, particularly meat pies, it's a combination of the meat and the pastry. You get tryptophan released, which creates serotonin in your body, as we were talking about. This might be what you need, Stephen. And pies are great for you. And I do find it quite funny. The guy who's also saying this is called Jeff Hodgson. And I was wondering maybe he's a long-lost relative of mine, because I do love a pie.
Oh, yeah?
Always cheers me up.
He doesn't sell pies by any chance, does he, this Jeff Hodgson?
Yes, he's kind of a spokesperson for Fraybon Bentos.
Right.
I mean, I can't lie about that.
Who'd have thought?
I'm surprised you've done that story, because I'm not going to start an argument, but North-South divide.
Yeah.
Northerns know about pies.
Exactly.
They don't. These two know nothing
I'm
about
from
pies.
Yorkshire. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, she's Yorkshire. She's
I'm from
Oh, I beg your pardon, I didn't know Yorkshire. Sorry, they're in the middle.
I'm the only southern softie on this one, but I tell you what, mate, you want to try jellied eels.
Oh, no, thank you.
No.
Reminds me, we went to buy some new crockery, you know, and we found some nice stuff that we like the look of. But it was you know those very, very flat plates.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And we both looked at each other and exactly the same point and said, the gravy had run off.
Do you know what you just said there? Why do they put puddings not in a bowl? Why do they put a pudding on a plate?
What are you meant to do with
You have to
custard?
use your finger to lick the custard up.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I know, we need to teach them a thing.
It's all wrong. Happy Easter, by the way.
Happy
everyone.
Easter. Enjoy that food, no matter how you're eating it or what you're eating it off, because I'm going to bring you up to date on everything else that's happening.